A week before my parents' anniversary, Mom gave me a binder. She said, "You'll be decorating, serving, cleaning, and smiling. Don't embarrass us." My sister laughed. "Free labor always shows up." I nodded. That night, I canceled every catering order and left. When 68 guests arrived to bare tables, panic spread, and then my parents' phones buzzed from. I finally did it. I ruined their anniversary. 68 people were invited. Tables set for a catered dinner, drinks, speeches, a slideshow. They planned it like it was a wedding down to the minute. But when they walked into the house that night, fresh from a 2-day spa retreat, hair blown out, suits pressed, they found nothing. No guests, no food, no music, just an empty living room and a binder sitting on the table right where they left it. My phone call came 5 minutes later. I let it ring once and then answered. I said, "I hope you're having a relaxing night. There's no party." "You're welcome." Then I hung up. Now I'm sitting in my friend Miles's spare room eating takeout and watching a dumb action movie. And it's the first time I felt human in 3 months. It started when I moved back in with them just for a little while. I was in a tight spot. Rent prices shot up out of nowhere, and some freelance work fell through. I asked if I could stay for a bit just until I got on my feet. They said, of course. Made it sound like they were happy to help. But right after I moved in, it started. I bought groceries once. Then it became every time. I paid one utility bill because it was overdue. Then I was covering all of them. I offered to clean the kitchen after dinner. And the next week, I was vacuuming the whole house while they watched golf and asked when I was going to start contributing more. They never said, "Thank you." They never asked. It was always assumed. My mom started calling me our little helper in front of guests. My dad joked about me being the live-in butler. I laughed along. What else was I supposed to do? I was broke and tired and trying to keep peace. I even drove my sister to her laser hair removal appointments because her husband was too busy and she didn't like taking Uber. Then one night, exactly 7 days before their big anniversary bash, Mom handed me a binder. It wasn't a joke. She said, "This is everything you need for the party. You'll decorate, serve, clean, and smile. Don't embarrass us." I flipped through it. There were tabs, timelines, instructions for how to arrange the dessert table. A note reminding me not to wear jeans. No, please. No, thank you. Just expectations. My brother, who wasn't doing anything to help, laughed and said, "Free labor always shows up." I didn't say anything, just nodded. But that night, I sat down at the kitchen table, opened every catering app and website they'd used, and canceled everything. Every tray of canapes, every seafood tower, every vegan option. Gone. I logged out of their accounts, deleted my browser history, and packed a bag. Then I called Miles and asked if his offer still stood. It did. He said, "Just let me know when." The next morning, my family left for their spa weekend. My mom texted a to-do list before they drove off. I didn't read it. Instead, I packed the rest of my stuff, cleaned only my own mess, and left the binder with a sticky note that said, "Good luck." Then I left. I didn't turn off my phone until after I made the call and told them the party was off. After that, I went offline completely. That was just the beginning. By the time I woke up the next morning, my phone looked like it had been in a war zone. 17 missed calls, 8 voicemails, 24 texts, all from the same 3 people. Mom, Dad, my sister Lauren, even a couple from unknown numbers, probably guests confused about whether the party had moved or if someone had died. I ignored all of it, let the notification stack while I made eggs in Miles's kitchen and watched him rant at his Xbox. I wasn't going to ruin my morning over a mess they created for themselves. I checked social media just out of curiosity. That's where the real damage was happening. One of my cousins had posted a photo of the party that wasn't just the empty living room with chairs pushed against the walls and that stupid binder sitting perfectly centered on the dining table. No food, no drinks, no music, just silence and bad lighting. Her caption was, "Is this a scavenger hunt?" Another relative commented, "I thought we were early." Someone else waited for 45 minutes and just left. So awkward. By noon, the post disappeared, but not before it made the rounds. Screenshots landed in family group chats. People started texting each other, and the story started to unravel. First, they thought it was a mistake, then a scheduling issue. Then they realized something had gone wrong. Very wrong. That's when the real messages started pouring in. Mom texted, "I cannot believe you would do this. Your father is humiliated. I hope you're proud. Then another one 5 minutes later. After all we've done for you, we trusted you. This was our night. And then a string of increasingly unhinged ones. People left without even eating. I'm getting calls from everyone asking what happened. Are you serious, Peter? Dad finally chimed in too, of course. This is low even for you. Followed by, you think this is funny? You've made a real mess. Then came Lauren. You are dead to Mom and Dad. Do you even care how selfish this was? That one made me laugh. Dead to them. Good. That meant I was finally free. I sent a single message back. Just one. Don't contact me unless it's about the box in the garage. I'm not coming back. No emojis, no explanation, just facts. Then I muted all three of them. I spent the rest of that day catching up on freelance edits, ate lunch with Miles, and even helped him set up a camera rig for a stupid short film he was working on. It was one of the most peaceful days I'd had in months. And still, they kept trying to reach me. I got emails, Facebook DMs, even a message from some woman I didn't know who turned out to be a family friend. Mom must have sent her to talk some sense into me. I didn't answer anyone. What they couldn't accept, what they refused to believe, was that I wasn't the same guy they'd pushed around for 3 months. I wasn't the one folding laundry at midnight or driving across town to pick up someone else's dry cleaning just because I didn't have a real job. What they didn't know was that for weeks I'd been building my own thing in the background. Video editing gigs, branding consultations, social content packages for a couple of mid-size influencers. It wasn't much yet, but the money had started coming in. I had a plan. I wasn't going back. They thought I needed them. They didn't realize I was already gone. And what happened that night? Ruining their perfect evening, turning their big event into a memory they never wanted to talk about again, wasn't an accident. It was the first time I chose myself. But the fallout had just started. I had no idea how far they'd go to get control back. That BY Tuesday morning the guilt trip had fully evolved into blackmail. The first email hit my inbox around 8:15 a.m. while I was sitting on the floor of Miles's place, drinking instant coffee and editing a product video for a pet brand. Subject line in all caps, UOUS, and apology. I opened it without blinking. I knew exactly what it was. It was from my dad, and it read like a script from a bad courtroom drama. He started with a list. We gave you a place to stay. We put a roof over your head. We never asked for anything in return. We trusted you. Then came the pivot. He said, if I don't return immediately and make this right, they'll be forced to tell the family the truth about my condition. I sat there rereading that line, wondering what the hell he meant by condition. He clarified in the next paragraph. He called me mentally unwell, accused me of being in crisis, said I needed help, and claimed they'd tried to provide it, but I'd rejected it, violently. Violently. The most violent thing I'd done was cancel a catering order. Then he wrote something that made me laugh out loud. Peter, if you don't fix this, we'll have no choice but to tell everyone that we tried to stage an intervention and you ran away. An intervention for refusing to be their unpaid housekeeper. I didn't respond, so my mom doubled down. She texted, we've supported you through every setback. Please don't destroy your reputation over something this petty. Then people started asking questions. What do you want us to say? And finally, you'll regret this. Maybe not now, but when it's too late. Then Lauren jumped in, texting me a screenshot of some Facebook message from one of our cousins. Was that party thing a prank or something? She added, they think you're losing it. You happy? I didn't reply. Not to any of them. So they escalated again. Another email from my dad. This time with attached screenshots. Bank transfers, utility payments, grocery delivery receipts. All from me to them over the past 3 months. He highlighted the amounts with notes like, this was your contribution and you chose to cover this. At the bottom, he wrote, you paid these while living in our home. These were not gifts. We expect reimbursement for the embarrassment you caused. That was their new angle, twisting the money I spent helping them into some kind of debt I supposedly owed. They wanted to frame it like I'd freeloaded rent-free and now had to make up for it by apologizing publicly, or else they'd run to the rest of the family and drag my name through the mud. I almost replied. Almost. But instead I shut my laptop and walked outside. Miles was already on the porch with a bagel and a Red Bull. I told him what they sent. He just shook his head and said, they're never getting you back, are they? I told him, not a chance. Later that night, another voicemail came from Mom. 5 minutes long. She sounded calmer, more controlled, but that only made it worse. She said they were discussing legal options. Said they might involve a lawyer if I didn't return the money I owed them. And then this line, "You still have some things in the garage. If you don't come for them soon, we'll assume you no longer want them." Miles listened with me and laughed. "They're threatening to keep your childhood soccer trophies," I said. "They can set them on fire." The next morning, they tried one more move. They showed up, all three of them, dressed like they'd just come from brunch, standing outside Miles's place, ringing the bell like it was some casual visit. And that's where part 4 begins. They showed up on a Thursday afternoon like it was some intervention-themed field trip. I was halfway through editing a skincare demo video when Miles walked in with a look that said, "You're going to want to see this." I followed him to the window. There they were. Mom in a white blouse and oversized sunglasses, like she was aiming for Netflix documentary elegant. Dad stiff in a blazer he only wore to church and bad weddings. And Lauren, arms crossed, chewing gum, wearing the same smug smirk she used to flash in high school when she thought she was better than everyone else. The car was still running at the curb. At first, I thought maybe they were here to drop off the box from the garage. Maybe, just maybe, an attempt at being civil. But then the passenger door opened and Lauren stepped out with that fake "I'm not here to fight" body language that always meant she was here to fight. That I told Miles flatly, "Don't let them in." He didn't even blink. Just walked outside and shut the door behind him. I stayed inside, out of sight, but I could still hear parts of the conversation through the cracked window. Miles said, "He's not coming out. He's not interested in talking. You need to go." Mom immediately started pleading. Her voice went soft, the way it always did when she was trying to manipulate someone she assumed was emotionally weaker. She said things like, "We just want to talk. This isn't how families should treat each other." Then my dad switched to a louder, more dramatic act, lecturing Miles like he was the problem. "You're enabling him. You don't understand the damage he's done." Miles stayed calm. "You're trespassing. Leave." Lauren laughed. "Wow. He's brainwashed you too." And then 2 more cars pulled up. That's when I realized this wasn't a casual visit. They brought reinforcements. Uncle David, who once told me I'd never make money online, and Marlene, the cousin who once begged me to make her kid go viral. It was a staged rescue mission, part family ambush, part PR campaign. If they couldn't control me, they'd bury me under numbers and guilt. I didn't move. Just hit record on my phone. Miles raised his voice. "You've got 5 minutes to leave before I call the cops. This is all being recorded." They hesitated. Dad argued it was a family matter. Miles cut him off. "You showed up uninvited with a crowd. Push it further, and it's a legal issue." That ended it. Uncle David left first. Marlene mumbled she wasn't up for this. Lauren rolled her eyes and followed. Mom stayed a moment, clutching her purse, but said nothing. Then she left, no big scene. Just silence and a failed ambush. The part that hit me wasn't their circus. It was what Miles said when he came back in. "You know you can't stay here much longer, right? Not because of them. Because you're ready." He was right. I didn't need to hide anymore. The next morning, I called the landlord I'd been avoiding. By Saturday, I had a lease. The place was nothing special. Scratched wood floors, buzzing heater, flickering kitchen light, bathroom fan that roared like a jet. I didn't care. It was mine. No notes on the counter, no voices asking for favors, no loaded silences. Just space. Clean, quiet, mine. Miles brought my 2 boxes later, clothes in one, random cords, notebooks, a dented mug, and an unopened birthday card in the other. I shut the door, leaned against it, and breathed. For the first time in years, the air didn't belong to anyone else. Miles brought pizza, dropped it on the floor like a ritual, and said, "Welcome to your first bad decision made on your own terms." That night, I ate cold pizza on the floor, laptop on a pillow, editing for a client. Not glamorous, not impressive, but real. My work improved. Faster edits, better results. Clients noticed, a few referred me to others. Soon, I had steady projects, contracts, retainers. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building something. My days finally had rhythm. Coffee, emails, edits, dinner, sleep. No errands, no guilt trips, no fake favors. I was broke, but on my own terms, and no one could twist it against me. For 2 weeks, silence. No calls, no texts, not even Facebook posts. Then one late night, a message from an unknown number.